society.
What up? What's going on, everybody? This is Alex Fischbein back again for another Fish's Friday rant. And I would just like to add that the Atlantic Files will be coming out again. Like, the new episode will be coming out in a little bit, probably not that long after this Fish's Friday rant comes out. Obviously, I was just a little busy with all of New Year's Eve, New Year's, coming back to Pittsburgh from Philadelphia, all that kind of stuff, so I didn't have time to record that one yet. So that one will be coming up shortly. Anyway, let's get into this week's Fish's Friday rant. I want to talk about Matt Barnes' Instagram post about 2015 and the new year. I want to talk about Kobe's last game at Charlotte and at Boston. And there's kind of like a whole little jumbled mix of what else I want to talk about. So we'll get into that in the end. Anyway, Matt Barnes talked about his year of 2015. And he said it was, and I quote, hands down the worst year of my life. Now, I understand a lot of people are like, Matt Barnes is a bully, he's a thug, he's this, he's that, he's the bad guy, blah, blah, blah. And really, when you read this thing about what happened in his 2015, it's really hard to see him in that light again, because, you gotta know he's a human too. So he's obviously gonna have a rough time. He's not always going to be this guy who's just out there to be a bully on the court or something and get into fights and all that kind of stuff. So just to go over some of the stuff he said, if you didn't read it, he said that one, lost the woman he loved, the mother of his kids, his dog. He had to walk away from the only thing he's ever wanted, his own family. Now, just that part right there, honestly, is kind of hard to read because, all right, I understand, sometimes you might mess up and lose, a girl of your dreams, or you might, get divorced from a marriage, and stuff happens. But it's not like that doesn't diminish how big of an event that really is. He still does have kids with this girl. He still apparently loves them very much. And when he says he had to walk away from the only thing he's ever wanted, his own family, that really hits home. That sucks, for lack of better words. That really sucks. And I can't begin to imagine exactly how that feels, because I don't know. I'm only 21. I haven't really, I haven't started a family of my own or anything like that. I'm still single and all that. So that's beyond me. And then, so he goes on to say, well, they call that karma. And then, second point was to being traded away from a team and city I love. They call that the business. And honestly, it is the business. That's the NBA. That kind of stuff happens. If the team thinks they can get someone else better, they're going to ship you out the first chance they get. Even the most loyal of players on a lot of teams have been traded away. Only a few players, even a few superstars have been either traded away or decided to walk away from the team they originally started on. So that is kind of the business. I would like to feel for him there, but it happens. His third point was being lied on by a pop star, who's lucky I stuck to the script and didn't expose her lying ass. Funny thing about texts and pics is they don't lie. I guess they call that getting played. I think he's talking about Rihanna here. I think that's what that whole thing was. I remember something about him and Rihanna. That does suck, especially if he's it sounds like he's being real genuine about it, about how like that's really what happened. If he says he has all this kind of stuff like texts and pictures and stuff, okay. Kind of hard for me to exactly believe that if he doesn't show it. So I don't know, but nevertheless, it always does suck getting played like that. There's nothing I can. Every guy has at least had one of those situations, and you guys all know that it sucks. So don't even try and play him about it, because we all know we could play each other about it too. So I understand that. And then he says, last but not least, being stuck in the, quote, triangle offense with my ex and snitch, I mean former teammate and friend, who went behind my back, messed with my ex, got caught, got dealt with for being a snake, then ran and told the police and NBA, instead of taking that ass whooping like a man and kept it moving. That, I have to admit, really sucks. I know I laughed about the whole fight thing earlier in the summer, and it was funny. I mean, you don't hear about a guy going and fighting a coach or former player who was a former teammate about messing with the other guy's ex. You don't hear about that often or ever. So it was definitely funny. Still kind of is funny. But when you look at it from Matt Barnes' perspective, I can see how like devastating that can be to like your psyche, your outlook on like life and stuff. I can see how that can really hurt. So I gotta say, I do feel bad for Barnes with this whole 2015. This sounds like a pretty terrible year, and you know, that's the beauty of New Year's. Is just that you can look at it, you can just take a step back and say like, all right, 2015, good or bad, it's behind me now. That entire year behind me. I can look forward to being a better me, having a better year than the one before, and just worry about improving on what I have now. And honestly, with Barnes, I think he, for his style of play and what he's known for on the court, really sticks with Memphis more than it does the Clippers. That's a whole nother conversation, but at least now he can say, like, look, that's all in the past. I don't need to worry about that anymore. Let's go out and let's just play some basketball. And let's get Memphis to a championship, and let's just do everything that we can to try and beat these other teams in the West. So, I mean, I do feel for Matt Barnes. I definitely see him in a different light now after, like, reading all of this kind of stuff. But you just got to put it behind you now. You can't dwell on stuff like that, especially where you're in a league that people on the court, they're not going to have any remorse for you. You can sit there and cry about that kind of stuff all you want, but someone will be like, well, look, I'm still going to drop 30 on you if you're going to sit here and not like and be worrying about all this other stuff when there's some games to win, there's a championship to win. So it's really something that he got it all out there, got it off his chest, whatever, and he should be able to get back to basketball now. And it should be interesting to see exactly what Matt Barnes comes out with in 2016, what kind of play he brings to the court, and see if he's done with all this weird off-the-court drama kind of stuff. So, real quick about Kobe. I really enjoyed that whole Michael Jordan tribute to Kobe when he was in Charlotte. I thought that was really cool about the whole like Big Brother thing, all that kind of stuff, because we all know that Kobe tried to like emulate Jordan in a lot of his game, and it was obvious to see with the fadeaways, you know, the moves, the footwork in the lane, and the post moves and all that kind of stuff, and Kobe did it with the best of them. So that was really cool to see. And the whole like going away party in Boston was also really cool to see. And it was just awesome to finally realize how much respect Kobe has for Boston and how much respect he has for their fans, and how he said that, like, look, I wish I could kind of cheer them on because they don't know how much they've pushed me to become the player that I am today, and how much they pushed me to become better and better each time that I played them and that I went out on the court. That was really cool to hear straight from him. And just remembering all those battles he had with, like, the Paul Pierce-led Celtics, and in the finals when he faced the Big Three and all of them, it was just really cool to, like, reminisce on that kind of stuff, and also just see where they are today and understand, like, the implications that everything had when he played them back then, when he's playing them now, and all the tributes and that kind of stuff. I just thought that was really cool. Definitely really cool. So one other thing I wanted to talk about was CJ McCollum. Now, I want to talk about CJ McCollum just because I have really liked CJ McCollum since he's came into the league, and he hasn't really gotten any attention until now because finally he's starting. He's getting a bigger role, which I thought he should have had before in the first place. But he's proving to people that he definitely deserves this kind of role. He's going out there and he's scored he's had over 5 25-point games, whereas he only had 2 in his entire career beforehand. And he's also playing some decent defense. But the big thing about McCollum is just that he can score in so many different ways, and people didn't really know that until now. But if you watched him in college, if you watched even his first, like, his rookie season and stuff like that, when he was in the game, he still had that. He just didn't have the time or the green light to go do that. And now that he has it, he's been knocking them down from 3. He's been taking it to the hole, getting fouled, getting and ones. He's been working in the mid-range game a little bit, even having a little, like, post fadeaways, stuff like that. Like, there's not one exact way you can guard him because he's going to find another way to score. And he's forcing other teams' hands in having to put the better defender on him, and that might distract you from having to cover Lillard. So then Lillard will hurt you, and then you'll have to go flip-flop and back and forth, and these guys are a dynamic duo, especially for a backcourt, just those two. And I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this season and in a few seasons to come, they'll be looked at in the race for best backcourt in the league. I definitely wouldn't be surprised about that at all. And I think they definitely should be in that race already, especially now that we're seeing what McCollum can do. That is just really fun. And, I mean, really fun to watch. And, you know, McCollum is still very young. And Lillard is also young. So, and these guys, these are the two they're pretty much building around in Portland. So imagine adding just better big men and a better wing, like a small forward, already to those guys, and you have a pretty solid starting 5. So while, and the big thing was, a lot of people thought the Trailblazers were going to take a huge step back, like a tremendous step back after losing Aldridge, Lopez, Batum, and Wes. But the thing is, they're still competing in every game. They're still out there getting a decent amount of wins, especially for the Western Conference. And that is in big part due to both Lillard and McCollum. I just think they should be getting even more attention right now. I know there's still the backcourts of, you know, like Clay and Curry, and there's still like Rose and Butler, and there's still, you know, there's still plenty of other backcourts. But I still do think that these guys should be up in, honestly, I think they should be in the top 3 with Steph and Clay in the top, John Wall, Bradley Beal, and then McCollum and Lillard. I think that's where they should rank. And I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your rank of backcourts in the NBA? Let me know in the comments below or on Twitter. Either one, let me know. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Fish's Friday Rant. Like I said, the Atlantic Files should be coming in just a little bit. I'm recording this around, midnight, Friday night into Saturday. So the Atlantic Files will definitely at least be up in the morning, and I wake up and I'll record that one real quick. So that should be up then. Make sure you check out the website, www.basketball-society.com, and check us out on Twitter at @bballsociety_. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.